Hi everyone, thanks for tuning in to the video. Today I'm going to be talking about Purdue Farms and how their business aviation department allows them to manage their time and also is a good asset for them to show that they are fiscally responsible. What I'm looking at is how can a company solve the problems that it has with aviation? Well, first to answer that question, you have to identify what problems you have. So to speak, what is your mission? So in this case, the Purdue Farms has 22 locations nationwide. They are not near major commercial airports, and they need to get personnel from all departments to anywhere. They need to deliver their IT department to one place and their senior executives to another. So they need to be able to facilitate this. And part of these nationwide locations are they're far away. And so you're going to need an aircraft that fits that profile. So how does Purdue Farms solve these problems with business aviation? They have two aircraft. One is a King Air turboprop that they use for somewhat local destinations. They're based on the East Coast. They use the turboprop for predominantly East Coast runs. They also have a Gulfstream turbojet for distant destinations, such as the West Coast. So when they need to go cross country, they have an aircraft that can perform. They exploit the significantly reduced runway requirements of their aircraft for travel into much smaller rural airports. Now that allows them to not need to be near those larger commercial airports, and that'll allow them to get into those smaller places where those chicken farms tend to be. On-demand transportation allows employees immediate access to travel to and from sites in unparalleled times. Now, if you have an IT issue and it happens like that, you're going to want your best IT guy or gal out there as soon as possible. Waiting on airlines, that can take a very long time. Assuming that they can even get a seat that day, you're still looking at multiple hours. Whereas if you have your own corporate aircraft, on-demand transportation, you can allow them to have that company aircraft in as little as a few minutes and get them there in as little as an hour, depending on how far they need to go. So productivity. If you have business aviation at your disposal, you might be able to accomplish something that a larger team would be needed for without business aviation. In the case of what I have illustrated here, 3 people, a manager and 2 lower level employees, are able to accomplish what would take essentially 10 additional employees worth of time as well as salary to accomplish the same mission, or just overall not as productive. So to maintain the same timeline, you would need significantly more employees, and that's going to be a great cost to the company. So with business aviation, you can deliver time-sensitive parts or equipment. This is specifically to the Purdue chicken farms. They deliver their time-sensitive parts and equipment in as little as an hour. It allows visits to all 22 of their facilities accomplished by high-paid senior executives in less than 2 weeks. Now, those are your top-paid employees. You don't necessarily want them gone for an extended period of time. And it also allows expansion of cheaper rural land. Because they can get into those smaller airports, the real estate costs of putting a chicken farm in the middle of downtown city is going to be astronomically expensive. But also it's going to be bad press for the company because nobody wants to live next to a chicken farm. They smell terrible. Without business aviation, Purdue Farms, their delay for sending out time-sensitive parts and equipment is up to 2 days. It allows for the visits of the facilities by their higher executives in 6 weeks by using traditional airline travel. And the expansion near major commercial airports would cost significantly more in land and taxes. This information was gathered from the National Business Aviation Association. Thank you.